So in Halo 2, there's a challenge that I have been trying to pull off for the last 4 years. And it's really simple. On the mission The Great Journey, launch from one mountaintop to the other. So, can I pull it off? Give it a shot. So, I lied a little bit. These mountaintops are actually located on 2 missions, The Great Journey and Ascension. Now, both of these mountains are very large and mostly out of the map. But the thing that makes this so extremely difficult and why I haven't been able to do it for the last 4 years is because the tops of the mountains are very small and pretty sharp, and the landing pads on top of them, well, they're no more than 30 feet across. To even be able to launch from one mountaintop to the other is a logistical nightmare. But regardless, I first decided to see if we could do this manually. I booted up the mission Ascension, and I was going to try to get to the top of the taller mountain towards the beginning of the mission. Now for this, I didn't even have Acrophobia skull enabled, so I was going to somehow have to find a way to launch this incredible distance with a similar height mountain without dying. And my first step in this was naturally to get to the top of the first mountain. Now I had the Boom, Feather, and Sputnik skulls enabled because I knew I would need some distance. There was this little path on the left that if you followed to the end, seemed like a logical place for me to be able to get to an area that I could stand on towards the top of the mountain. Initially going into this, I thought that this setup was going to be a piece of cake. But I very quickly discovered that even step 1 of this wasn't that easy. It took me nearly 10 minutes just to find a location to throw a grenade so I could jump in the air and land on a part of the mountain without just sliding off every time.
Real brutes don't shave. All the Halo 3 brutes are dead.
Ah. Okay, there. Now that I figured out a somewhat easy way to at least get to the base of the mountain, we were now on to our next step. We still needed to get all the way to the top of the mountain. This is where we were going to try to set up to launch to the other mountain. So that means we have to get to the very top of this mountain and get a setup ready to go without making a single mistake. Now I essentially tried to get to the mountain in 3 different parts. The initial grenade launch to get to the base of the mountain, then another grenade jump to get to the mid part of the mountain. And if I made this, I would just need to do one more to get to the top. And I didn't realize where I was walking and I fell off the cliff and would have to do this again. And I fell all the way back down to the bottom. That's awesome. Now, it took me another couple of minutes, but I was finally able to make it to the top. But strangely, I immediately got a checkpoint when I got up here. You raised me up. I got a freaking checkpoint. I need you to die and come up here. Now, I thought that this checkpoint was just another lucky checkpoint that was randomly distributed, so I wasn't really worried about it. But now, I needed my brother to die so that I could set up a grenade pile at the top of this mountain. The plan was to set up a grenade pile towards the edge of the cliff so that I would be close enough to walk off it, and as this grenade pile was exploding, I would basically be able to go straight to the mountaintop. Okay, I need you to throw grenades off the edge and stand in front of me, and I gotta beat you down a bunch of times. To get this pile set up, we had the Pinata Skull activated, which allows you to beat a player in the back and have a plasma grenade come out of them. What the fuck are you doing?
What?
Once we had roughly 10 to 20 plasma grenades, I was going to use the plasma rifle to shoot them all into a unified pile. Now, because I'm hitting my brother in the back as I'm doing this, I'm obviously weakening him. So when he gets down to no shields and I can't hit him once more, I would go over to the plasma grenade pile and try to set them all up while he regenerated his shields by throwing more grenades. We got a pile of about 10 grenades set up into a nice unified pile. Now, my brother just needed to fall off the mountain cliffside all the way back into the map and get a checkpoint like we were talking about before. So yeah, that checkpoint I mentioned earlier didn't happen. And eventually I just instructed my brother to walk forward, and of course we loaded forward without a checkpoint, so our entire setup 30 minutes in was null and void. The second time around I thought, well hey, if I'm gonna have to set this all up again, maybe I'll take the easier route and set up on the opposite mountain. Now, to make this even cooler, I wanted to try to pull this off with a Spectre. If I could land it with a vehicle, that would be sick and harder. Now, I'd need to put on the Acrophobia skull, but this still would be an incredibly hard shot to hit. I took the Spectre all the way up to the top of the mountain, and now I was ready to get a grenade pile set up behind this vehicle. Now, doing this with a vehicle is a lot trickier than setting up a grenade pile and then launching yourself as a player.
You can't stop me. It's like the same level.
It's just all gray. And this bright, beautiful pink Spectre. Alright, get out. And then we're going to set up a pile right behind the Spectre.
You're a pal, dude.
So after getting this all set up and shot into place once more, I was finally ready to have my brother get a checkpoint so I could start my first attempt 45 minutes later.
Okay. We got a checkpoint.
So pretty much immediately, I realized that I may be boned. No matter where I threw the live plasma grenade, it wouldn't explode the pile of plasma grenades without first sending me forward. Then the pile would explode behind the Spectre, but by that time I was already too far forward for it to impact me. Because my checkpoint setup sucked, I then tried to see if I could somehow miraculously get the appropriate distance using different methods. I first tried throwing a live plasma grenade behind the pile, but instead of getting in to drive the Spectre, I just stood in front of it so it would blast me really far. And on a couple of attempts, I got some pretty good distance. However, the aim really wasn't there and I wasn't getting nearly far enough. I then tried other things like sitting in the passenger seat and variations like sticking the Spectre, and none of this seemingly was working. As you can see here, there was pretty much no predictability in where I was going, and the physics are different whether you're sitting in the passenger seats or you're on the turret compared to driving. You have a lot more control while driving, and your launches aren't nearly as far. But now I was at a crossroads. Do I just give up and try something else, or do I see if this could actually work in some variation? Do you think you have the ability to get any more checkpoints?
Oh, maybe. You want it now?
No, I have to refine this a little bit.
There you go. I just got one.
So as it turns out, where I parked the Spectre before was in a disadvantageous position. The second time that I set this up, I moved it back a little bit so that the grenade pile would be more in the center underneath it. In this new setup, I actually started getting the appropriate distance to be able to land this. Oh, mama. And I started getting attempts that were either too far or just a little bit too short. So what went from an essentially hopeless situation turned into one where I might actually be able to pull this off. Dive! Oh, that was actually pretty close. Great, that's awesome. That's really great. So even though we had invested 2.5 hours and we were finally starting to get some close attempts, MCC crashed, and at this point we had already tried 2 separate tricks and 2 other games on 2 other missions that had already failed. In total, we had wasted 3 hours. So I said, screw it, let's just go set up a grenade pile again, and then I can try to launch with my body using the Acrophobia skull to eliminate fall timer. Now this was the cop-out, but I couldn't think of anything else, and we'd already wasted so much time. However, when we started setting this up, we had more mistakes that led to arguments because my brother couldn't find the beginning of the mission Ascension for almost 5 minutes, and he kept pretending like it was the mission The Great Journey. And although I would say this over and over, he would say he understood and continue to go to the wrong place. Tensions continued building, and then this argument happened. Okay guys, we're in desperation mode. We can't hit this at all. I'm wasting a lot of time. So it's time.
But you already got it.
What the fuck are you? So f***ing stupid. How stupid can you be?
I picked it up and it hit the trigger.
I'm gonna call my guy at King David Supplements and have you taken care of by the Mossad. Nothing personal. Are you gonna speak the rest of the episode?
You stuck up. The map's not loading in.
You're not gonna be a fucking piss baby. This is a different map.
So where am I going?
Where we first started when we first started trying this.
What are you talking about?
We are on a different map. We are not on the Great Journey.
Shit. Where do you want me to go?
Where you were trying to get to the top of the mountain earlier and get down? Dude, go over there.
I thought it was on this side.
We are on a different map.
No fucking shit.
Dude, you can see the fucking tower right off the cliffside when you get on the map first.
The fucking giant tower that the big white.
The mountain you were trying to get down. Go there. You're fucking. So yeah, my brother left the game entirely. So let me know in the comments who won the argument. Not that it matters. But what does matter is that I have nothing hit for this week. Nothing coming out. And obviously this argument did not help that fact. And now I was alone on this crossroads myself. Do I just give up on this entirely, skip a week, have nothing come out, pretend like none of this ever happened? Or do I suck it up and treat this as if it takes as much time as it takes? Well, I had very little free time to figure it out, so the next morning, very early in the morning, I decided to try this again. And the results? Well, surprisingly, they were much better. Oh man, that was close. Boom! Oh, that was sick. But if I can't get to the tip, does it really count? So although this was really cool, I just couldn't count it. For the sake of this challenge, I wanted to be able to land at the tip of either mountain. I didn't have to land exactly on the top, but in order for me to count this, I wanted to land either on the top of the tip or at the sides so that I could get to the top easily. Now I knew based upon the spin rate and how crazy unpredictable these Spectre launches were, landing at the very top perfectly wasn't going to be that likely. So if I could at least land near the top, around, let's call it the nipple, as long as I had direct access to be able to get to the top quickly, I would count that. But enough with the semantics. Let's get back into the launching. Come on. Oh! Come on, hit the ceiling. No! No! Holy shit, that was close. So the story of this trick is close but no cigar. I had gotten very close to hitting this many times, but I just couldn't quite get the distance or the aim. Close. When I did get the aim, I didn't get the distance. When I did get the distance, I didn't quite get the aim. Eventually, I tried just sitting in the passenger seat, and instead of just landing straight on the mountain, I would first try to hit the map's ceiling so that I could bounce relatively straight down onto the top of the mountain. Now, I came pretty close quite a few times, just like the previous method, but I just couldn't pull this off, and I had already invested over an hour. I tried adjusting my setup slightly, and it messed up my ability to do this accurately anymore. So then I decided with another player I was going to launch the Spectre out of the beginning of the mission and get to the top of the mountain that I was just trying to land on. Now, my hope was that I could do this in the opposite direction. Like I said, if I could just land near the top with quick access, then I could do this challenge. I set up the grenade pile, and surprisingly, it was actually really good. I only used about 15 grenades, and then I just parked my Spectre where I thought it should be, but almost immediately I was getting accurate attempts. Now, I could almost taste it. Whew, that was really close. Damn it. Oh, this might actually be it. Ugh. Come on. Oh, I'm just like slightly off. Oh. Well, I landed on this. There's the Rex Easter egg. Oh. Just missed it again. Oh! I'm gonna call that a bingo. I'm gonna call that a bingo. Whew. That took, oh my gosh, that took 4.5 hours. Wow. Wow. Finally.